This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Maybe you're settled at home alone or with loved ones, covered in blankets, about to watch your favorite show. It's cozy, it's calm, and you're ready for a perfect night in. Therapy can feel a bit like that, a place for comfort, a time when you replenish your energy and take care of yourself. And hey, you can even do it without leaving that same cozy couch. This season is the perfect time to give therapy a try, right from the comfort of home. With BetterHelp, get matched with a tailored therapist based on your needs and preferences, entirely online. Designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Is it curling up on the couch for a cozy, peaceful night in? Therapy can feel a bit like that, your comfort place where you replenish your energy. With BetterHelp, get matched with a therapist based on your needs entirely online. It's convenient and suited to your schedule. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
So I'm not giving that power away ever again. That's the only power I have. Honestly, people can make you do things physically. They can make you do all kinds of things, but they can't control your mind.
Warning. This is a public service announcement. This is the Walk-In Victory podcast. Here we have conversations that provides insight on how you can craft and design your future from the inside out. If that's not you, then tune into another bleeping podcast. Everyone else, enjoy the show. And here's our host.
Good afternoon, good day, good evening. I don't know what time you're listening or where you're listening from. It's your boy, your host, NaRon Tillman, and you are with me for another episode of Walk in Victory. Speaking of victory walks, I want to take you on a little journey about when we first started our show 5 years, going into 6 years ago now. We are over 300 episodes produced now, but the beginning of our journey wasn't really a smooth one, so to say. We had no real idea of the type of content that we wanted to produce. We had no real idea of the topics that we wanted to cover. So I would cover anything from sports to, I was talking about politics. That was the first time Trump ran. He just got into office. So a lot of crazy stuff happening. So wow, or the second when he was running for re-election, it was a lot happening. And I remember him being in the news. So we just was going through a lot in the variation. And although I had taken marketing and digital marketing, I really couldn't wrap my mind around how to market what Walk-in Victory would necessarily be and or mean. But thank God that I did have that background, because as I began to understand what the landscape of podcasting was, it helped me to shape the ideas about what direction we wanted to go in and what vehicles to use to get there. So what I mean by these directions is what conversations that I want to have, what type of people that I want to sit down and talk to. Did I want to be my own guest and have a monologue and just pour my heart out to the people every day, or did I want to really have conversations? So we pivoted. It was always Walk-in Victory, but it really had no tagline. And some writing around COVID, I really started having great conversations, because COVID expanded the mind in terms of marketing. And I wasn't just looking at my 2-mile radius just in the city of New York about who to interview. I started to interview people from all over. And it really was refreshing. I joined PodMatch. PodMatch is like a dating app for podcasters where we find guests and things as such. When I joined PodMatch, I really started to really fine tune the conversations that I wanted to have. And as I started to do that, the ideas about what this walk in victory is started to really, really come. Sometimes we start a thing and we think that we have to have all of the tools in place. It's good to know, there's mind hacks and tricks that I teach with our mindfulness that, start from the end back. But there's also tricks of just starting. Because if you're sitting down waiting for the the eureka moment to come and you can see the end before the beginning, no. Now I see it end. So we went from walk in victory, and our tagline is we sit you at the feet of the masters as of right now. But as of 2025, we're changing that because the birthing of what it is that we want walk in victory to become, we're now designing your future from the inside out. So instead of me emphasizing the conversations that I'm having with the guests, I'm emphasizing the audience. And that's the thing about marketing. When you understand your audience, you now start to craft everything around the journey that you're going to take the audience on. So the journey is the design, which is my first business was construction. So of course I would look at the architect of building. I'm a mindfulness coach. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm a spiritual coach and leader, pastor, whatever you want to call it. So we design people from the inside out. And it was like, oh, wow, okay, so this is what we're doing. Because the conversations that we're having, whether it's centered around marketing, whether it's centered around finances, real estate, or anything as such, is built to give you tools to help craft your tomorrow or to craft your now so that you can start walking in victory in whatever field or however victory looks to you. There's no definition of what victory means for the individual that's listening. That's your journey. Your victory walk is your journey. Our job is to have conversations to help you design and build a better you from the inside out. Not the things that we touch, see, and feel, but the things that we can transform because we kind of see it in our mind before we can actually touch, feel, and deliver it. That's what marketing is about. And then God comes in, takes your idea and start to give it life. But the life comes from within, doesn't come from without. And most people miss that point. And today we're going to be able to jump into that as we sit you at the feet of the masters. Deborah, how are you?
I am fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
No problem. We thank you for joining us. Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you feel comfortable with that you would like to share this morning? And we'll jump right into our conversation.
I'm a late bloomer is a great way to put it. I turned 58 last week and I really started over. I started my life over in my mid 50s. And what I mean by that is that, and I think this is true for a lot of women, I kind of lost myself. I raised 5 kids and they're all adults now. And I grew up in Oklahoma. I still live in Oklahoma and went to college at Oklahoma State University and started directly out in sales and marketing and was building my career and climbing the corporate ladder and all of those things. And when you have a big family and you're the mom, boy, everybody's wants and needs comes before yours. It's really your job to take care of everybody and nurture everyone. And I was really good at it. My kids are all great human beings. They all graduated high school. And let's face it, we're playing percentages when we have that many of them, right? And so I ended up in 2020, I lost my marriage and of 19 years and my nest was empty. My kids had left home. And then in 2021, I lost my mom. I took care of my mom. She was 85. She'd be 86 today if she were alive. And when she passed, it is the worst thing that ever happened to me, honestly. But it was also the catalyst for me to change my life and bring me back to where I'm really supposed to be in my purpose. And so in 2022, I started my marketing agency, Hexagon Media, got all the way back to my marketing roots, and really spent a lot of time digging in with small businesses and helping them find their, like you said, kind of target audiences and marketing to them, and started my sales coaching business. And then in 2023, I started my podcast, Deals with Heels, where female entrepreneurs thrive, where we really focus on business and entrepreneurism, but also on empowering women to find their own voice. It only took me, 55 years to find my voice, re-find it anyway. And so helping other people, and especially women, find their voice and be able to really stand in their power and speak their voice is something that I'm truly passionate about. And I have to say that I felt that throughout my life. I would have feelings like, boy, I really want to jump on this and I really want to say what I think, but I didn't. I was so into people pleasing, and I didn't want to make this person mad. And if somebody was upset with me, then I was for sure going to fix that. And I was the fix it and make everybody happy and paint this pretty picture for me to live in, where no one was disappointed in me and no one was unhappy with me. And if they were, then I felt I felt compelled to fix it. Like I can't deal with this feeling of somebody being upset with me.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Maybe you're settled at home alone or with loved ones, covered in blankets, about to watch your favorite show. It's cozy, it's calm, and you're ready for a perfect night in. Therapy can feel a bit like that, a place for comfort, a time when you replenish your energy and take care of yourself. And hey, you can even do it without leaving that same cozy couch. This season is the perfect time to give therapy a try, right from the comfort of home. With BetterHelp, get matched with a tailored therapist based on your needs and preferences, entirely online. Designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com. This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Is it curling up on the couch for a cozy, peaceful night in? Therapy can feel a bit like that, your comfort place where you replenish your energy. With BetterHelp, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, entirely online. It's convenient and suited to your schedule. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
And that just, the whole mindset of that is it's such a not focused on you, right? It feels like it is because they're your feelings. But honestly, all of that and worrying about what everybody else is thinking, it made me lose my voice. It made me lose what I felt passionate about and for. And so I've kind of come all the way through that and became a grandma last year. So, I got 5 great, fantastic kids, but that granddaughter's really the only one that matters. NaRon, honestly, I love being a grandma, but I am a very low maintenance parent. I spend a lot of time helping everybody else. And honestly, it's Deborah time now. I'm doing what I want to do and standing in my own power and letting my own voice be heard. And if somebody doesn't like it, then
well.
they're the ones that got some issues, right?
Yeah.
Because what other people say to me and what other people do isn't about me. No matter what they do, this is me. No matter what's happening, what kind of chaos is happening around me, this is me. And I've worked hard to do that. It's not an easy and I'm definitely not perfect at it, right? We all can get riled up about some stuff every now and then, but that one thing changed my life more than almost anything else. Being able to separate my feelings, my life, who I am as a person, my thoughts and my emotions, and take that control and power back, right? Really, that's the only thing we have control of, our mind, our thoughts, and our thoughts generate our emotions. They come straight from what we're thinking about. If I'm pissed off, you can bet I've been running that through my mind for a while now. And that's why I'm so upset. So I'm not giving that power away ever again. That's the only power I have. Honestly, people can make you do things physically. They can make you do all kinds of things, but they can't control your mind. And your mind controls your emotions. What you think about controls your life. So, what are you going to think about? And knowing that and working through that and finding that change was really important to my life. And whether that's my personal life or my professional life or my friends, it changed who I was, not being affected emotionally by every single little thing that was going on or that was on social media or that was on the news or this person said that to me. And that really makes me upset. Um, right?
Yeah. Well, one thing that they say is like tribulations or trials brings patience. It produces patience in a person, and we don't really want to go through the tribulation. Like, we just want to get to the patient part first. But when you look back at your career, climbing the corporate ladder and being successful in marketing, how much different was it working for someone else and now putting on that entrepreneurial hat, whereby you know there's so much uncertainty in owning your own business and how you're going to wrangle in clients and all of those things. What was that journey like, especially coming off the heels of everything that you went through personally?
It was terrifying. I mean, just not anything that was pleasant about the transition, but let me just say, corporate world was excruciating, right? Especially for somebody who was in people pleasing, and I didn't want people to be upset, and the backbiting and the I want to jump over this person, and I want the whole competitiveness that is geared in corporate world. And damn that Henry Ford for the 40-hour work week, right? I mean, he's has us all trading hours for dollars. And one of the things I still struggle with to this day is that I need to be at my desk at 8:30 in the morning. I might have been up till 11 last night working on somebody's ad campaign, but I would be anxious if I wasn't at my desk at 8:30, and that is conditioning from corporate America and from working for other people. And a good example of that is I had a client, and I've always done marketing consulting throughout my career, no matter whether I was working for somebody else or not. I've always done a little bit of that on the side.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Is it curling up on the couch for a cozy, peaceful night in? Therapy can feel a bit like that, your comfort place where you replenish your energy. With BetterHelp, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, entirely online. It's convenient and suited to your schedule. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com. This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Maybe you're settled at home alone or with loved ones, covered in blankets, about to watch your favorite show. It's cozy, it's calm, and you're ready for a perfect night in. Therapy can feel a bit like that, a place for comfort, a time when you replenish your energy and take care of yourself. And hey, you can even do it without leaving that same cozy couch. This season is the perfect time to give therapy a try, right from the comfort of home. With BetterHelp, get matched with a tailored therapist based on your needs and preferences, entirely online. Designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
And especially after I transitioned and had all those kids and had to do some things other than corporate world, working and taking care of family at the same time. But I think that we get caught in that trap working for other people and trading hours for dollars. And I had a client and is after the shutdown and they were just, man, we got to get everybody back in this office. And they're getting a lot of resistance. I think a lot of people still are resistant to doing that. And so I was asking a lot of questions and trying to find out what the real issue is. And so I was like, is it really such a big deal that they're here every single day? And he was adamant. Yes, it is. And finally we got to the point and he blurts out, how do I know that they're working? Well, is the work getting done? Well, yeah, the work's getting, well, somebody's working if the work's getting done. Are you paying for the work? Or are you paying for the hours? And I think that our work life is very conditioned to we're paying for the hours. And it's somebody who can do an incredible amount of work in a short amount of time. That did not really suit me as well, right? Because my ADHD and all of that really isn't good for me to be bored. I could be rebellious. Here I am in my 50s. And so I would go seek out other things to do. I'm finished with my work. I cannot just sit around. That is not good for Deborah at all. And so I would go seek out other things to do. And as a result, I ended up just loaded down with all kinds of work and stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, but that and so what is really empowering, I think, about being self-employed is being in control of that path, being in control of if I want to work at midnight because I had some big creative epiphany in the middle of the night and I want to get up and work on that and I don't want to be at the desk until 11 the next day. Well, guess what? I can do that and I don't have to feel bad or guilty or any of the things that come with corporate America and working for other people and being able to focus on the things that I love to do. And that part of it, man, so empowering for me to be able to control that schedule. And it's still a struggle. I'll be honest. I still can be like, why are you being so hard on yourself, man? It's okay to take time off. It's okay. You don't have anyone standing over you saying, hey, where were you? You left at 3:30 and you didn't tell me where you were going. And I still sometimes feel myself in my own, getting on me a little bit.
Yeah.
So that freedom was a big deal. But of course, there's stress with coming up with your own clients and being sure that everything's getting taken care of and that you have revenue coming in to pay the bills and letting go of scarcity mindset. You're a mindfulness coach, so you know all about that. We talk a lot about scarcity mindset on my podcast. And for sales coaching, I do as well. You just can't have that mindset of lack, right? Overcoming that's really important. It's a worrying about how am I going to pay my bills, worrying about where's this money going to come? What if this client cancels? What if I can't close this deal? How am I going to pay this? I don't have what I need to make all of this happen. All of that feeling coming from a position of lack in your mind and that mindset it's a money block, man. That'll keep your money from coming to you. And I really feel like God doesn't judge what our thoughts are, whether they're good or they're bad. They just know that you're thinking about it. So you must want some more of it. That's what she's focusing on. Kind of like praying, right?
Yeah.
If I'm thinking about it and I'm saying it and God can hear me saying it and all they can hear is me whining about all my troubles and being nervous and, oh, here, have some more of that. You notice how like the car bad luck gets on somebody and now they just keep having a lot of the same problems over and over. I think focusing on all of those things can bring you a lot more of all of those things. And so really
Yeah.
letting go of all of the things that are blocking you from your blessings, right? You got to let go of all that, make room for your blessings instead of holding on. And that's true in marketing too. People get stuck in, this is the way I said I was going to do it. And I'm forcing it. I'm going to make it be like that. And I love what you said at the beginning. You're so flexible about, well, we did it this way and then we did it this way. And boy, in 2025, this is what we're doing. And that is such the epitome of entrepreneurial mindset, that I'm doing this and I've got a little nudge from the universe and from God that's making me think I need to go. So I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go this way and I'm not going to fret about it and I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm not going to wonder if this, should I, or maybe I shouldn't, or you just pivot, go that direction and believe it. And now you're empowered and you're on your way. I love that so much. And I'm living it. It's the only way to be an entrepreneur, but also in life, right? You just can't get bogged down in obstacles, right? You can't just get stuck and, well, I'm done. I can't go any further.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people, because of when I teach yoga and I teach the kids, one of the tools and principles that I use is for them, is the more flexible in your body you become, the more flexible in your mind. You go on the mat, and if you get on the mat and say, "Oh, I can't do that," then you've already closed out your whole body, the mind, because the mind said I can't, so the body's not gonna, right? So we're not allowed to say I can't when we're on our mats. When you're on your square, look at your square. Don't look at the person next to you, because the person next to you may be a little bit more flexible than you are, right? And they may be naturally flexible. I have students that are naturally more flexible. I teach some women, and they're naturally more flexible. They don't do yoga on a day in, day out basis, but their hips are more flexible. They're more. So if I was to sit there and begin to envy them, like, wow, I still can't do that. That's not where we should be at in our lives. And that's entrepreneurs.
Maybe you're not supposed to do that, right?
No, we're not. No.
I was an athlete, and so I'm muscular. And if you're muscular, it's hard to be flexible sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. And so I've been doing some somatic yoga.
Okay.
And honestly, it feels like I'm not exercising. I was an athlete, so I like to feel like I'm really getting a good workout, right? But I noticed that when I meditate, I've meditated for about 15 years, and I couldn't sit, and I strained a tendon in my hip doing some harder workout than I probably should have been. And I couldn't, it'd been like a year and I still couldn't sit like crisscross applesauce for very long when I meditated. And so I was, I really am a nerd. I love all the information. And a friend of mine was doing somatic yoga. And so I started and went down that rabbit hole, and I started doing just some basic, and I had no idea how much I clenched my muscles. I clenched my butt cheeks. I clenched my legs. And I don't know if it's a function of just sports and being on all the time, but doing those basic somatic yoga movements really brought that to my attention. And I was able to I can tell when I'm clenching. And it's always kind of, I'm in not necessarily a stressful situation, but sometimes I'm on, I'm focused, and I'll feel it and I'll be like, and there it is. I can feel that clenching. And, they say that somatic yoga, and correct me if I'm wrong, you may be much more knowledgeable than me, but we hold emotions in those muscles that are tight and that we clench. And for me, that clenching was, I'm holding on to emotions and I'm not expressing, and that's where they are. They're in there and it's all tight. And so after I had been doing it for about a month, I felt a release one day. And I'll be honest, I cried about some stuff and I was like, why are you crying about some dogs that you rehomed 30 years ago? Really? I was like, I must have been feeling guilty somehow deep down in my heart for that to come out while I was doing my yoga, just suddenly, randomly. And we rehomed them to some really nice people that wanted them and were very loving to them. But it, what it really helped me do more than anything was really remember what my body was supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to feel tight and clenched, not supposed to feel all restrictive. And so just a little bit of doing that. Now I'm able to sit comfortably with my legs crossed when I meditate, and I'm able to move my body and my hips. I think a lot of women hold emotion in their hips. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. So the body stores emotions, right? And the body stores history. And we tuck these things away. So tuck them away. Women, their shoulders, lower back, hips. Men, the hips get tight. Women, the hips not as tight as the main hips, right? So the men tightness of the hip, really like in from the groin area in the front, right around the lower back. The women, it's the side of the hip, which is why the hips flatten out. And it can, this is generalizing because everyone's body is different. But
Right.
what happened with you as you were going through the flexibility and you first you became aware, you was aware that, wow, when I do this, my body responds this way. So the tension in the body is saying that I'm storing something here and the body is always going to resist. So it's just like in business, right? You reach a certain level of growth and then resistance comes, right? And you're trying to can't get past $1 million a year, can't get past $1 million a year, regardless of how I start out. I'm always going to end at that. And then boom, one day you shift right past that resistance, that threshold. So the same thing happens with our body. We shift past whatever was limiting us. And then now it causes us to be emotional because we stored it away. We never dealt with it. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs do. They push the can down the road, right? We don't deal with, we ignore clients because we don't want to deal with a headache in the middle of our day. We lie instead of saying, hey, the shipment is backed up. We make up stories, right? Because it's better to make up a story than sometimes for some people. I don't understand why. Then it is to sit down and take the criticism and say, hey, listen, there's nothing I can do about it. But as soon as it happens, I'll let you know you're not the only one affected by it. It's affecting me. And I just want to I want to be a pillar of communication to my customers because I care. That shift of mindset, when you're working with customers as a marketing expert, how do you help them to shift past that resistance when they're saying, oh, Deborah, I think the campaign should go this way. And you're like, but that's not what you do. This is not what you should be selling. Because how do you
the biggest thing I really see when it comes to marketing is, my industry's gotten very segmented over the last even 5 years. There's content creators, videographers, photographers, branding photographers, web developers, digital marketing, social media marketing. And to the average business person, the average entrepreneur, they all do the same thing. And they all do similar things. They do. But what very few of them do is sell. And what I see of the biggest block that I see for entrepreneurs when it comes to running their business and them being stuck and not wanting to go through something is having a sales mindset and culture. You know, there's a lot of things that can cause us to go out of business. Lots of things for us to worry about. Are we spending our capital correctly? Should I hire this person or that person? How should I even form my business? Should it be an LLC? Should I do a corporation? What am I going to do? Should I hire a CPA? All of those things, if you mess them up enough, you could go out of business. One thing's a fact. If you don't sell your products and services, you're 100% going out of business. And we buy and sell things every single day. You get sold coffee in the morning or fuel, you go to lunch, you get sold to go to a class or a networking event. We buy things, sell things all day long. But when it comes to our business, our livelihood, the livelihood of our employees, sales is so far on the back burner, we got to dig really deep to even find it. And so it's this lack of, and people don't want to cross it. It's, I want to sell. I don't want anyone to know I'm selling. Right? It's a mindset and it's a block, and getting someone to be able to cross over that is really hard. And I think people don't want to be talked into buying something. That's what the real thing is no one wants to be sold. No one wants to be talked into buying something. And you have to get out of that mindset and realize I got to sell it or I'm not in business. I can't do anything if I don't sell my products and services. And you're in and selling that specific thing because it has value, right? There's a reason people need it. Most of us are doing something to help somebody else. I'm doing this. I love to help small businesses find success and sell their products and services, find their marketing goals, set up their plan. I love that. I'm competitive. I want all my stuff to work. That's what I'm passionate about. And so as long as I lean into that, and I always focus on, how can I help you? How do you know anyone that I can help? Now you're focused on helping others, explaining what you're doing and how it helps others, and asking, can I help you? Or even better, do you know anyone that you think I could help? And framing it in that perspective, as opposed to walking them through the steps of, now, does that make sense? Would you think that that's fair? And all of those, when somebody does it to me, I recognize it. And you're like, okay, back off the sales technique. I recognize those. But it's important to find your comfort zone in there. But that sales culture starts with you as the entrepreneur, and it seeps down into your frontline personnel, your customer service personnel, your behind the scenes people that are like, we're not salespeople. Well, you don't have to be salespeople, but you need to adapt to the sales culture of the business, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help people find this path. And that resistance it comes from the top down, right? You determine the culture in your business. You do. And it's just like, if walking into a smoke-filled room, you come out smelling like smoke. What are you going to fill your room with? Are you filling that with good, positive sales culture, helpfulness, positivity, entrepreneurial mindset, growth mindset? We're here to grow. Or are you filling it with, why were you late? Why aren't you selling? And negativity and lack and scarcity mindset. Everybody better jump on it, or we're going to, it's, what are you filling your room with? I don't want mine filled with smoke. I don't want that to on me, get in my hair, all of the things. So that culture is the biggest challenge I see entrepreneurs facing today. And they spend thousands of dollars with content creators and videographers and all of the things. And all of that's important. There's nothing wrong with what any of those entrepreneurs are doing with their business, but it's up to the entrepreneur to make sure the content they're making sells their products and services in some way.
Yeah, are you
And
selling? Yeah.
yes, are you selling it in some way? And I don't care what anybody tells you. Every ounce of marketing is about sales. And I get the PR. Well, we're doing this. We're doing good. We're helping the community. We're doing this so we can do good. To I reply, and so why did we send that press release to the news stations? To tell them about the good that we were about to do so they could come out and do a story on us. And why are we doing that? So they think good thoughts about us and everybody knows the good that we're doing. And why do we want them to know? Well, we want them to know so they think positively about us. And why do they need that? So we can sell more of our stuff. Come on. That's what it's about.
All about the sales. Oh, so
It is. It's just selling in a softer voice. But that culture of people can feel it, right? They feel that when they're around it. They do.
so when you started Deals with Heels, was that the mindset to help women entrepreneurs feel confident in selling and confident in being an entrepreneur in their own skin, making their own deals, being a boss lady? Is that what was going on?
100%. You know, it's kind of weird. I met a woman out networking. I do a lot of networking for my business. It's great, right? Advertising's expensive. And when you start out that local level entrepreneur, going out networking, finding people that you can share referrals with and send business back and forth with is really an important part of selling your business and finding that community and like-minded people. And I met a woman and we had a one-to-one after we had met networking and I'd seen her out networking for a few months and we just really clicked. We were on a very similar personal growth journey, spiritual growth journey. We were both entrepreneurs building our business. And I don't know, I'd known her about 3 months and I asked her to start a podcast with me. We just had really great chemistry. And for both of us, it was about helping other women find their voice and build their business, helping other entrepreneurs. Over half of our viewers on YouTube are men. We have a lot of great business content and mindset content that's helpful for everyone, but it's presented by women and from a female point of view. And which is an important part that's lacking in society. We have a very male-driven, consumer-driven society. And so having this softer, healing energy is really important. But we're not going to get it unless women can do it and can feel it and believe it. And it's very powerful. So for me, helping other women find their voice, whatever that voice is, and helping them feel comfortable in it and stand in that power and stand with their boundaries. I don't know if it comes from being a mom and taking care of everybody else that you lose having personal boundaries, but that people pleasing for me and not holding those boundaries true was very limiting. It was a very limiting mindset, and you can't grow a business like that. And you can't grow your personal life. You can't grow spiritually unless you have some boundaries in there that you have for yourself and that you have for other people that are in your life. And for me, my journey started with changing my mindset. My mother had passed away. I was coming home, grabbing food on the way home, sitting on my bed, eating my food, watching television. And that was pretty much how I was living my life. And I was in a job that I didn't enjoy, that I took because I needed money. And I had lost a significant amount of weight. I stress don't eat. And people think that's better than stress eating, but it's hard to gain good weight when you're in your 50s. And so for me, my mindset, the first step I took was physical, right? I felt frail. And as I said, I was an athlete. I want to feel strong. And here I am starting over with nothing. My ex-husband gambled our whole life savings away. and I got a lot to do. I can't feel frail. I weighed like 115 pounds, and I'm happy to say I weigh 135. I gained all of that back. And so for me, making healthy choices was the first step. And I didn't start out like I'm giving up sugar. Something that would just be so hard to do when you already are weak, right? For me, it was, I'm not going to eat fast food.
Mm.
I'm not going to eat in my bedroom. I'm eating in the living room, and I'm not going to eat fast food. I'm a great cook. I love to cook. I grew up cooking, and I wasn't cooking anything. And so I can say I've eaten fast food probably 5 times in 3 years. And those are Freddy's. Damn, I'm a sucker for Freddy's. My grandbaby was sleeping. So making that choice, it really was the first step. And so sometimes it's as basic as that. You know, when I do sales coaching, it's kind of a combination of sales and mindset coaching, because you got to have the right mindset to be successful at anything. But you dang sure got to have the right mindset to be successful selling anything. Whether you're a professional salesperson working for somebody else, or whether it's your business and you're selling it, it's got to be right up here for you to be able to get through it. And so mindset's the first thing, and making healthy choices. Let's start with one healthy choice. Master that first, no matter how big or small it is. Maybe it's, I'm going to sit in silence for 5 minutes every day. That's really hard for people to do. But in that period of silence is when the answers come. That's when you know, when you feel it. And so I often challenge people to 30 days, 5 minutes every day, quiet, no music, no television, turn all the devices off. I like to sit outside, but somewhere just quiet with your own thoughts, just sitting quietly. And answers come, right? It's the same with prayer, sitting quiet. It's very similar. I just don't always say prayer, but for a lot of people, that's the term that they're the most comfortable with. But I find that fixing that, getting over those few humps. Here's the thing. What if your blessing that's coming to you, your purpose, my big blessing, my big break, however you want to say that, is coming? What if it requires you to work 60 hours a week for 6 months?
Mm.
Can you do it? Can you mentally do it? Can you physically do it? Can your emotions withstand that? We see people all the time that get their blessings when they're not ready, don't we?
Mm.
And it just falls through their fingers. We see, people that get on drugs, people that lose all their money, all of that. They weren't quite ready to hold those blessings. And so I think a big portion of finding your goals is getting that in control. Am I fully prepared to hold those blessings and do the work it takes to get those? It's never going to be just handed to you. Here you go, right? You work towards them, and are you able to do that? I don't know what it's going to take for me to have my next big blessing, but I know I need to be ready, and I need to be physically able to do it and emotionally able to do it too. If it's going to cause emotional strain for me to do it, am I ready for that? Do I have the coping skills necessary and the mindset necessary to pull me through that, so that maybe my blessing is going to require me to help somebody else through it? Am I able to do that? And thinking in those terms can give you the discipline and motivation to do what's necessary so that you can hold it. You can sit around and pray for it and wish for it and manifest it, but if you can't take the action, that's what brings it. You doing the work and the actions what brings it. So you got to be prepared for that. And I think that's true in marketing and sales as well. I have to be prepared to do the work and to be disciplined to do the work that it takes for my success. So,
Well, everybody,
important.
There you have it. I told you. We sit you at the feet of the masters and we build from the inside out, helping you to get uh, acquainted with yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and be able to hold your blessings. My last question for you, what books have influenced you? You would recommend if you was talking to a group of people, and it could be fiction or nonfiction, and that doesn't have to be something you're reading now. It could be anything that you've read over the course of your life.
Oh, wow. I've been an avid reader through a good portion of my life. And about 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with closed angle glaucoma, which is a terrifying form of glaucoma in the sense that, I mean, all glaucoma is terrifying. And for a lot of people, you don't know you have it. And then you wake up old one day and you're blind because you don't know that it's happening to you. And I have actual physical attacks. And every time I have one, I risk permanent blindness in the eye I'm having it in. And it affected my ability to read on paper, right? And so I used to read through it a ton of books. Right now, I don't read as often because of that, but I'm going to say the person that really has affected me most in my personal growth has been Sadhguru. I don't know if you know who he is. Stumbled across some of his lectures and some of his writings, just kind of going down the rabbit hole on mindset. And my whole philosophy of what's happening outside of me isn't me. And as long as I can stay true to myself and not give that power away is direct from him. And I think most people would call him a Hindu spiritual guru. He would say Hindu is a region of land, not a religion.
Yeah.
And I like him because he's very no nonsense. And he will say, and this is bullshit, right? Yes or no? And so I really like his kind of no nonsense way of thinking. I honestly don't understand all of the terminology sometimes when he is talking about the soul and different meditations and different things, but he breaks it down very simply. And I really love that. It has affected me more than any sales book or any marketing book that I've read. And there's a ton of those that are good. One of my favorites, of course, The Tomb of the Cheese. And I love all of those and I get something from all of those. But for me, changing what was inside and my mindset was everything. It led me to be able to use the knowledge I got from all of those other books and put that to work for my own personal soul purpose. And Sadhguru is who helped me understand that and really have deep thoughts about, gosh, why does that make me upset? And it allowed me to think of it in a terms of, let's say something you said to me made me feel like I could feel it, like that I'm irritated. Now, rather than just say, well, he really pissed me off, I'm like, now why?
Let's explore.
That way.
Yeah.
In my own mind. Why are you feeling this way? Because NaRon didn't do anything to you. He just living his life. Why are you letting that get you so upset and making you have these feelings? Where's that coming from? And being able to self-analyze my own thoughts and feelings changed my life more than anything else. And it also helped with sales and marketing. It's easy to get caught up in, this is what we're going to do, this campaign, it's going to work. Well, what if it doesn't work? Is it the end of the world? Does that mean I'm not a good marketing person because I had a campaign that didn't get the success? Because there have been times in my life that would have been devastating, right? I'm competitive. I want everything to work. Well, the truth is that not everything works as well as you want, whether that's marketing, business, or life. And getting caught up in that defeat is it's a block. It keeps you from moving forward. It keeps your business from being successful. It keeps you from your personal success. And until I was able to release that and look at it, not take it personally, not think of it as personal defeat, not thinking of it in how it upsets me, and really being able to come to terms with, I'm in control of my emotions. Why does it feel this way? What's taking control? What is triggering me from my past that's making me feel upset in this situation, when I can logically look at it and say there's no reason that should make you upset. It doesn't have anything to do with you. But that self-actualization, that's how you change your life. That's how you find success. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you can have that mindset, you will find your path. And that is the most important thing. I am on my soul path. It's magnetic. I am on my way. Come join my bubble.
It is. It
Right?
is magnetic. Listen, everyone. All of Deborah's information is in the description. If you're on our website, she has her own landing page with all of her social media information. Go and support the website so that you can get the tools that we just talked about. That's helpful for today. You don't have to walk with your head down feeling because divorce after 19 years, I'm empty nesting, I lost the closest person to me, that I can't make it through it. Nope, those are only steps towards your victory as you journey on victory. So Deborah's now part of the Walk in Victory family. We want to welcome you to become a part of the Walk in Victory family. We don't ask you for cash apps, Venmos, or any of those things, but what we do ask is that you would hit like and subscribe so that we can get this message out to more people. And not only that, if you're listening on a platform that you can leave a review, give us that 5-star review. If you're not on a platform where you can leave a review on our website, walkinvictory.me. Again, and I hope this message get out as we continue to build from the inside out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.